Good evening. How are you?
Hello. What's up?
Hello.
Hi, everyone. How is everyone? Okay, great. Can you guys hear us? Testing, testing, one, two, three, testing. We are live.
Yeah.
We are live, coming to you live on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
And you know what that means?
Yeah, I know what it means.
What does that mean, Lamar?
It's the first of the month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 1st of the month.
I know it's the first of the month. Yes, I know it's the first of the month.
And what do we do on the 1st of the month?
We go live.
We go live. If you have never joined our channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Angela, and this is
Lamar.
And we are Lamar and Angela. We are a pair of expats that have left the United States in search of the meaning of John 10:10 in the Bible, which is, I have come that you might have life and have life abundantly. What does that mean? What does that really mean? And so
it rains real hard.
Yes, it is raining. It is raining right now, y'all. I don't know if y'all can hear, but it is definitely
It's
raining.
pouring down right now.
It's raining. It's pouring.
It's rainy season here.
It is rainy season. And because it's the 1st of the month,
I'm going to have to practice that.
yes, come on, man. Come on.
I was never
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
no. So I don't know that.
It's the 1st of the month.
Yeah, I
So
know
grab
that.
your
And Gita,
No, grab your checks and come up.
come up where?
Oh my gosh. Y'all help the brother. And really help the brother. Because today we will be talking about health care. Okay? We are living in Mexico, in beautiful Querétaro, Mexico, which is in the heart of central Mexico. And so because of that, we have had to have several things, I would say, several things that we've had to have done. And hold on, cancel that. There we go. And being able to just get health care, take care of ourselves. We are of a certain age.
Of a certain age. Speak for yourself. You're as young as you feel and think.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. So we are of a certain age, and we, have to have health care. And
Yeah.
that's probably one of the main questions that people have asked us living abroad. Healthcare. What is the healthcare like? Tell us the real deal. Tell us the real skinny about healthcare. And because Lamar just recently had to have surgery here in Mexico, we thought we would bring you the full details and full skinny on his experience in a real life Mexican hospital.
Yeah. It was. It's my first surgery. I'm 63 years old.
Yes.
I've never been to the hospital for anything really. Years ago when I was a kid, bee sting, but that was not surgery.
Right.
That was a allergic reaction.
Right.
This was my first surgery. Needless to say, I was a little nervous.
Oh.
Yeah, I was nervous. I
A
didn't
little
know,
nervous?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. And then when you have someone talking in your ear, not my wife, but someone else who had similar or the same surgery,
Right.
talking about this fact that the pain level would be this and that, having to get certain ice pack, blah blah blah. No.
Right.
Basically, what I did was I was chasing after the dogs and I slipped, broke my fall with my right arm, and I could hear it tear in my ear, and I knew it done some damage.
He tore his rotator cuff.
Yes. And so I went and had it examined, had MRI, and confirmed that it was a tear. And so we scheduled the surgery.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who have never had and been blessed to have a rotator cuff injury, the rotator cuff is that part of the shoulder that allows you to be able to move it up and down and round in a circle. It basically holds that shoulder into the ball of your,
Right.
holds that joint into the ball of
And
your
mostly
shoulder.
it's the movement where you're reaching up and to the side.
Correct.
And I can do other movements with my shoulder, but that
There
my mobility was limited, and it wasn't really painful after the injury happened. It was just really inconvenient not
Yes.
being able. So
It can be painful.
Yes.
It can be very painful. I've tore my rotator cuff as well once upon a time, almost chasing after a similar wayward child. But this one wasn't with 4 legs. This one had 2.
Yeah.
And so I know all too well about what you're going through.
Yeah. Basically, Angela was seeing orthopedic because
I have frozen shoulder on my right shoulder.
Right.
Developed menopausal frozen shoulder. Holla if you hear me in the comments if you are dealing with menopause. Okay. But my surgeon, I just happened to have been at my surgeon's office the day or the week that he fell, and we were able to immediately get in to get his arm seen about.
Right. And then we scheduled an MRI, and they did the imaging, confirmed that the tendon had been torn and had rolled up back to my neck. And so he asked, "You want surgery?" Yes, of course I want the surgery.
Yeah, because it's not something that
No.
will heal itself or ever fix.
The quick difference is that this was a traumatic tear, so the prognosis was good.
Yes.
If it was over time degeneration and that they don't have very much success in repairing, but this kind of tear, they have more success in repairing it.
Mhm.
He explained the whole surgery and everything and let us know what it was entailed.
Mhm.
And then we had to go to, in between times, I had to get an MRI.
Yes.
I had to go get blood work. And I also had to see a internal doctor or a general practitioner to be examined.
And so this is the main reason why we wanted to bring this video to you guys. We, based upon our experiences here in Mexico, we wanted to make sure we let the world know why we will never, ever return to the United States for healthcare.
No.
Ever. I will never. Did I say never? Forever, ever, never.
Yeah.
Return to the United States for healthcare.
Yeah, the healthcare here is superlative. That's the only thing I can say. It's not what you hear about. And, it is really highly professional people, doctors, nurses, physicians, specialists, all of that are trained in Mexico in skills that they start off with when they enter medical school. They don't, go to medical school and then intern after. It's kind of simultaneous,
right?
Where they're doing the internship and studying at the same time,
right?
And so they come out, I think, probably a lot better for that because the subject matter is kind of geared towards what they're working on with the doctors and vice versa, and they go through this. So I have nothing to say but great things about the physicians that we've come in contact with.
Y'all, listen. One of the main reasons that I will never go back to the United States for healthcare is primarily because I'm spoiled. I have been spoiled, and as your I have been spoiled. I have been spoiled.
Yeah.
I have been spoiled because I'm now accustomed to the high quality of care that we get here in Mexico. For example, para ejemplo. For example, when I go to the same doctor that Lamar went to, surgeon that he went to for his arm. I started going to him. When we go to the his office that's located in a hospital, when we step off the elevator, walk down the hall, get to the front desk to check in, we're taken immediately to the back.
Yeah.
Immediately. Not, I think one time have we kind of sat down in the lobby area
that was
there.
For maybe about a minute or two.
It wasn't even that long because it just happened to be because a lady was finishing up paying and making her appointments and all that kind of stuff at the desk. And so the woman couldn't get to us right away. She had to finish the lady that was at the desk. So I had her acknowledge that we were there and went to sit down. I couldn't even get my booty cheeks comfortable on the chair really good before they were, oh, come on back. It's always walk off that elevator. I'm walking to the office and I'm straight in the hospital or in the doctor's office being examined right away.
Yeah.
I never got that treatment.
No, I'm always waiting at least a half hour. I could get to the doctor's office 15 minutes ahead of my appointment time and still wait almost a half hour. So you're talking 45 minutes. Yeah, I got there 15 minutes early just to make sure that I got checked in properly.
And that's after you had to wait to get the appointment in the first place.
Right, because a lot of times the doctors in the States, they have, their appointments are closed for a month or two ahead of time. So you're sitting there going, okay, I need an appointment. You make the appointment. It's, a month and a half away. You leave work from home, go to the doctor, and then, 15 minutes early, your appointment's at 1:00. You're waiting until 1:30.
Right. And then when you're in the doctor's office, it's check, good check, J-spot. Oh, okay. I'm out.
Right.
Well, wait, I had, some more questions. What about, that type of thing. Here, tell them about the experience you had with our primary care doctor.
Primary care, I go in.
Getting certified for his surgery, by the way. Making sure everything was in working order.
I had left one out. I had the MRI, I had the blood work, EKG. Took that information to the primary care doctor. And I waited, maybe this is the longest I waited, was like for maybe 5 minutes because she had another patient that she was spending time with. When I went back to the back, she introduced herself and we sat down and she, opened up the file and asked me about what was happening. How did I injure my shoulder? I told her. And so then she pulled out the reports and things for the blood work, for the EKG. And she said, we're going to have an education. And she pulled out a Post-it note and marked pieces of the EKG and measured. You see how this works and see how this is set up here? This means that you don't have arrhythmia. You don't have any kind of issues. It's pretty much on point. And she went through the whole thing step by step. She asked me about my family history, about illnesses that maybe my mom, my dad had, any injuries or any kind of surgeries that I may have had in the past, which I haven't. And, my early, childhood stuff like asthma and things like that. Then she, took my blood pressure. She checked my eyes, throat, all that stuff, looked in the ears. She talked to me some more. She explained to me what she was going to recommend to the surgeon as far as the anesthesiologist and things like that. And this went on for at least an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes that she spent with me.
Hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes just reviewing in detail all of your labs and whatnot to make sure everything is okay, explaining things, taking time to hear about your family history. Never have I ever had that much time. I never had that much time with a doctor.
She was great. And she's friends with Ben's surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's where the recommendation came. She recommended, because I contacted Ben's surgeon and doctor.
Our son had to have surgery on his nose to correct a nasal issue that was causing problems with his ear.
Right.
Now, in the States, they primarily just diagnosed his ear as the problem.
Right.
His ear is the problem. So we had to do a surgery. He had to have a surgery in his ear that did not work.
No.
And all of that kind of stuff. We come here, someone's digging into and actually taking time
She was
to
a
find
specialist
out
in this area of ear, nose, and throat.
and discovered that it's not the issue primarily in the ear, but it's in his nose. It's in the nasal cavity that needs to be fixed.
Right.
And then that will flow back to the ear to
Right.
fix that. Never have I ever had that kind of experience in the States.
Yeah.
That's another reason I will never return to the United States for healthcare.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Here's the other thing about the primary care. She said, "Let me know if you need anything.
Oh,
If you, as far as any medication afterwards or anything,
Right.
Then, so when we scheduled the surgery, because he had a conference to go to the following week, so he says, "I got time this week."
You're right.
I got time this week. He said, "How about Thursday?" And we checked everything scheduled. Yeah, we can do it Thursday. They come back and say, "Listen, early check-in on Thursday morning for the surgery. It's going to be very chaotic. We want to make sure everything, because that takes a little while to get the paperwork done and everything like that. So we want you to come in Wednesday night. No charge.
No charge
for the
in the hospital
for the night before.
The night before. And it was really the afternoon before, because we got there early afternoon.
Yeah.
And
so
checked in.
So we got checked in, everything. Nurses, did their thing as far as taking, vitals and things like that. I got a good night's sleep.
Yep.
They came in that morning, woke me up, and
the food was pretty good too.
Yeah, the food was good as well. The room. Now you need to check out the video that we posted.
Y'all.
Yeah.
If you have not checked out the video that we posted that detailed Lamar's hospital room, you got to check it out. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You got to see it.
Yeah.
Because
that was absolutely fantastic.
That room right there.
Yeah.
That room right there.
Yeah. So they got me up that morning, Thursday morning, getting me ready. Check me.
Oh, wait. Before that, let me add that. They asked, Lamar's room was huge, y'all. It was huge. 72-inch TV,
yeah.
leather pull-out couch. They were coming to make sure he was all good and he was, in his hospital gown and all that kind of stuff. But then they asked me if I wanted them to bring my linen for me to be able to stay overnight in the room with him. What?
Yeah.
What? You mean I don't have to just kind of slouch in this uncomfortable chair to stay there? No, the couch pulls out into a bed, like a full size.
Sure does.
It's almost kind of queen size bed.
Yeah.
And they were bringing linen for the bed for me to sleep on while he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Never have well, they do that kind of when you're in labor and delivery. Kind of do that. I mean, they have like a little cot that sometimes they could pull that out and it's not very comfortable. This looked to be very comfortable.
Right.
And linen, never have I ever.
Yeah. So
the next day?
So went in for surgery and they took me down to the operating room, put the mask on me, put the little cap on me and got me in there. And of course, I'd never experienced it, but my wife told me it's going to be cold in the operating room. Sure enough, it was freezing cold in there.
How would you?
I had already been, the IV had already been applied before I left the room.
Right.
So anesthesiologist, he introduces himself, and then we go into the operating room, and it was people just swirling around. I was like, and he said, "This is my assistant." And she says, "I'm going to give you this, and to help you relax." No, it's not relax. It's boop.
Lights out.
Lights out. Out.
Ready to go bye-bye?
Yep. So
ready to go night-night?
Yeah. So, it was just absolutely. I don't remember. They also did a nerve block here. So surgery happened. Next thing I know, I wake up, I'm in recovery and looking around, they started asking me questions, are you hungry? What day it is, things like that. And then when they realized.
Before you go on to that, they called me on my cell phone. They called the room, and I didn't realize that was the phone for the room ringing. And by the time I got over there, they had hung up and then just decided to call me on my cell phone to let me know, we're beginning the surgery now. We'll call you when the surgery is over. So as soon as they finished with the surgery, while he was still finishing up, and I guess he was just finished in the operating room, he calls to let me know the surgery went well. I'm finished the surgery. We'll bring him up. And they gave me the time. What time we'll be bringing him back up to the room so he, can be rehabilitating and recovering in his hospital room. Never have I ever had that kind of nothing. Now, of course, I haven't been on the receiving end of it. It's mostly been you in the recovery rooms waiting for me.
No, not waiting room.
Waiting room. Yeah.
Waiting
good point.
Room.
Good point.
Waiting room in the United States is always a waiting room. It's never the actual hospital room, that kind of thing. And it makes a huge difference when you're in there. They have Wi-Fi available. You can sit there, read a book or whatever, and it's peaceful without other people wandering in back and forth. And so they bring me back up to the room. Of course, I was groggy and things like that, but for the most part, I wasn't feeling any pain. Yeah, I had the nerve block going. And they say that would last about 12 to 14 hours. So it's like your arm, if you've ever experienced your arm being asleep, that's what it feels like. It's just flopping around. So meals were good all day. I think that when they brought food, I was kind of apprehensive about eating, but.
Why did they bring us a fruit basket? While Lamar was in surgery, the chief of nursing brought us a fruit basket just to welcome us because they knew that this was our first time using their hospital.
Yeah.
A fruit basket, y'all. I was like, what is this? A fruit basket, like with a bow. What?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. So I mean,
never have I ever.
Yeah, the meals were good. And recovery was pretty much all the rest of the time throughout the day. Angela stayed with me till about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I had to go get the dogs.
Yeah, she had to come back and get the dogs. And so, of course, her talked to me about nurses and how they'll be coming in and out, checking.
Now that is not different.
IV bottles and all that stuff. And they did that all night long.
Yes, that was not different.
As a matter of fact, surgeon told me, he says, if you want, tell them to leave you alone.
Oh, what?
Yes. He said they won't come back looking. He said the only time they'll come back is to put them, and they won't wake you up. They'll just change the.
Never have I ever.
Yeah.
Never have I ever.
So he said, just tell him, he said, no need to come. He said, because all they're doing is
checking your vitals.
Blood.
If you've ever been in a hospital, if you've ever stayed overnight in a hospital, the hospital is the worst place to try to get some sleep and get some rest because the nurses and attendants are constantly coming in, checking the bags and checking your vitals and taking your temperature and all that kind of stuff and just in and out. And then you've got the hospital cleaning staff coming in to empty the trash cans or change this or do that. It's like, can I go home so I can get some rest?
Right. Exactly.
So that's usually how it is in a hospital.
Yeah. So night went well, no issues, no problems. Wake up the next morning, they come and check on me, make sure everything's going okay. And then my surgeon came. He had some things going on. He had consultations that morning, and he, wanted to make sure everything. He sent his assistant.
All
She
right.
came down and she took I had a large bandage on the shoulder to absorb any of the liquid that was going to come out from the surgery.
Right.
And so I have, 6 small incisions here with arthroscopic. So they put these bandages on that'll stay until I go back this Friday to have the stitches removed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have no complaints, nothing but praise. I mean, the hospital was clean.
Cleaner than the Board of Health.
I mean, it was. I mean, the marble floors all over the plants. The room. They put me in, which it would have happened anyway. But they put me in the room right next to the nurse's station. But I couldn't believe the fact that they had a 72-inch television in the room.
Couldn't believe it. And guess what, y'all? We were talking to another one of our expat friends on Sunday. Just happened to be talking to her, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, that is a very nice hospital." There's another one that's even nicer than that. Yeah. And at that hospital, they give you slippers.
The little.
They give you not the little paper slippers. They give you the plush white terry cloth type slippers and a terry cloth type robe.
Yes.
To go with your experience. I said, never have I ever had that. So for that reason alone, I will never be going back to the United States for healthcare.
Yeah.
When I've had, and at this point, we've had a number of things done. I think Lamar's was probably the most serious of occurrences in terms of stuff that we've had done. But I've had dental work done. Never will I ever go back to the United States. I've had my shoulder looked at in terms of care for that.
Physical therapy.
The physical therapy for my shoulder.
Right.
All of those things. Now, I will give the physical therapy one not a pass, but it's on par with the United States, because I have had to do physical therapy in the United States, and the experience was similar, was pretty much the same, was on par. So, okay, there we go. We've had good chiropractic care.
Yes. Here
in Mexico. Excellent chiropractic care. That's pretty on par with what we've had in the States.
Yes.
I would say we've had a good chiropractor in the States, a couple good chiropractors in the States. So that was fine too. But in terms of just general healthcare, general dentistry, never will I ever return to the United States for healthcare.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
No.
Won't do it. And here's the pièce de résistance. The cost.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we are out here living rogue, y'all. We are rogue only because we had not selected a permanent type of health carrier. We were still in the process of evaluating healthcare plans, and we still are in the process of evaluating healthcare plans, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, trying to make sure we were getting the best bang for our buck and which way we wanted to go. Do you use the public system? Which way do we go? What options are available to us as temporary residents, soon to be permanent residents?
Right.
Which way do we go? And we were in the process of making that decision, and then Lamar fell.
Right.
Stuff happens. But all of that, our whole experience, all of our experiences up to now have all been paying out of pocket. We paid for my MRI out of pocket, his MRI out of pocket. The cost, y'all, the cost of full private healthcare, soup to nuts, for Lamar's surgery, 2.5 days in the hospital, anesthesiologists, the surgeon, the full operating surgical suite, the 2.5 night room stay, the food, the supplies, all of that came to like $7,700 and some odd change.
Right.
out of USD, out of cash, out of pocket.
That surgery in the United States and the two-night stay would have cost him upwards of somewhere around $75,000 to $80,000, depending on where you live. It would have been that cost. So there's such a difference in cost, but the care is well above what we've gotten in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So you're comparing not even well, you can't. It's not even comparing oranges to oranges. It's one's far greater.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just lower cost, but higher quality of care.
Definitely higher quality care.
Yeah.
Quality care. And from that perspective, I remember the deductibles and co-pays that we've had to cover, various things for our kids, for us and for our kids when we were in the States on a family plan with good health care, with good health care.
Right.
And I use air quotes because for-profit health care in the United States is booty.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say something else. Booty. But if this is your first time, come on in and make yourself at home. Come on in, Gen X Quench. Yes, it's the first of the month.
Yes, it's the first of the month.
It's the first of the month. But even still, all of that, the healthcare that we experienced in the United States, we won't do it. I won't do it again.
Right.
I won't do it. Don't do it again. There we go. Never will I ever. Never will I ever. I've been spoiled. Lamar's surgeon, his primary care doctor, called to see, is everything okay?
Yes. After the surgery, she contacted me. She called. She sent a WhatsApp message. She let me know if you need anything. I'm glad that the surgery went well. I will follow up with you once you start physical therapy. I know you will be working with
on your cell phone, y'all.
Yeah.
Calling on your cell phone? On my cell phone?
Here's what she told me. So as we were talking, she asked, some basic, where do you live? I said, well, in Hudikia. And she goes, oh, I do too. Well, if you need anything and I'm close by, I'll stop by your house.
Never have I ever. Yeah. Never have I ever. I can't go back. How am our doctor, our even the dog's doctor? We have her cell phone number. We're able to call. We're able to send her a text, a question we may have. Can dogs eat this or that? Or right. Candy needs her nails clipped. Can I come by?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Come on. Like, what? I don't need an appointment. I just can
just roll up.
Just roll up and text you and yeah, come on. Never have I ever.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And you can't, the reason we do this is because the propaganda,
yes,
in the States and saying that this country is not, it's backwards and all this. No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not. So there's two Angolese hospitals.
Hospital Angolese in the middle of town, and the Hospital Angolese in Central Sur.
Mm-hmm. The one in Central Sur is newer, of course, and it's a newer design. Absolutely stellar architecture.
That's what you were saying. I have not yet
been
to
my goodness,
Central Sur. Central Sur is the south side of
that hospital is absolutely beautiful on the inside and
wait. I didn't ask you this. More beautiful than Angolese in the middle of town?
Yes.
Wow. Now that's blowing my mind. What?
Yeah.
Is nicer than the one that we just went to?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's insane. Insane to think that. That's crazy. Now, granted, I will issue this disclaimer because we have not had to, we since we are without insurance and without all those kinds of things, we just went to the hospital that we could pay for. There's a hospital here near us, Hospital Moscati,
Yes.
which is
It's new.
it's a very nice hospital as well. It's new because when I say new, you smell the paint still on the wall.
And actually,
the workers still on certain floors working and
still working.
putting stuff in and things like
Yes.
that. It's a brand spanking new hospital.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing that everyone keeps calling that one state of the art too. So
yeah, that one state of the art. The one that Ben had his surgery was quite new.
mm-hmm. The one I had to have eye surgery.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I had to have eye surgery. So the
Mhm.
hospital that she did, my surgeon did my surgery there for my eye.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice hospital.
The hospital where we go to get, a lot of our tests done, the MRIs, the EK, that's a nice hospital.
That's a great looking hospital.
So and there are three, there's 4, 5. So Moscati, Ben had his surgery, where we get our test done.
Mm-hmm.
The one over by the Infinity dealership, that hospital,
Mm-hmm.
that's 4. I think there's like maybe 4 or 5 hospitals within driving distance. There's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And these are new hospitals. They're not old hospitals. These are new hospitals.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
And they keep these hospitals in stellar condition.
Yeah. Now, when we first arrived in Mexico, we stayed at an Airbnb that was near one of the main general hospitals downtown.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have an occasion to have to go into those hospitals or what have you. But even those hospitals, I have heard, I have not seen, but I have heard even those hospitals are decent hospitals. I say decent because I have not experienced them, so I cannot give it the good hospital rating that that was given to me. They said, "Oh, that's a good hospital." Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me check it out to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
By my standards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that we wanted to make sure we came and gave our experience of hospitalization in Mexico is because we wanted to dispel the narrative that exists that you can't get good hospital care outside the United States. You can't, I can't leave the United States because I don't want to leave my doctors, that I don't know if I can find a good doctor. You can find a good doctor.
If that was the case,
matter of fact, you might be able to find a better doctor.
If that was the case, then there wouldn't be such thing as medical tourism.
Right.
People are going to Mexico, down to South America and other countries because they can get certain surgeries and treatments done that may not be allowed, that may not be covered in the United States, and pay out of pocket to get these things done. And it's done by very learned, very intelligent, very skilled surgeons and physicians.
Yeah. When we mentioned and I know we've talked about it before, one of the ways that Mexico came on my radar was because learning about medical dental tourism. For the cost of, and I had to, I don't know if I've told the story before, I had to have a root canal. Thought I had to have 2, but turns out I only had 1 at that time. The cost of my airfare, I got a Southwest flight to Cancun. The cost of my airfare to stay for 10 days and then also have first class treatment in terms of my root canal, the crown, all of that, $2,500.
In the States, they were looking for $15,000.
$15,000 is what we were quoted.
For one tooth. For one.
$15,000.
Right.
And
insurance would only cover a certain percentages.
Right.
Certain percentage because they consider it cosmetic. They don't consider it because a tooth that is going bad that can become abscess and then sepsis can poison your body, and you can get sick from that. But that's not a medical problem. That's a cosmetic problem because you're wanting to get this done because you want pretty teeth. No, we want to get this fixed so I don't die.
Right, right. Here's the kicker. Years prior, I had had a root canal up on the upper part of my mouth for a tooth that was giving me trouble. One was on this side, and the new one is on. I cannot tell you for the tooth that was replaced or that the root canal that was done here in Mexico. I can't even tell you which tooth it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good they did a work. I even to this day, I have to have my dentist tell me which tooth was the one that is the root canal tooth.
Right.
For the root canal that I had in the States, I can easily tell. It does. This one is not like the other. It's the color match is off. But for her, the tooth that was done, my dental work that was done here in Mexico, I can't even tell. I cannot even tell. So that's how good. So we wanted to make sure we dispelled those myths in case there is someone out there listening under the sound of my voice who is delaying or foregoing or possibly not trying to move out of the country for fear that I can't find good health care. There's absolutely good health care.
We talked to friends today and that live in Portugal, Rick and Elise.
Oh, yeah.
And
shout out to Rick and Elise and all in the comments.
Yes, our Black Utopia.
Yes.
And they're talking about the good health care that they're getting in Portugal.
Yes.
And they're trying to, snow you, throw a whole bunch of smoke in your face in the United States saying, we're the best, okay. And so, but when you come here and then actually experience, go, wait a minute, you were trying to sell me on the banana in the tailpipe? No, dude, this ain't what you said, you lied. Right. And so, just to let you, and it's safe here as far as medical, not just living, but the professionalism of the physicians is absolutely fantastic. Right. And
our surgeon,
yeah,
the orthopedic surgeon that we have for Lamar's shoulder and treating my shoulder as well, his English is excellent. Okay, so let me tell you about the surgeon. Let me tell you about his office. State of the art. And I wish I would have brought one with us, but they filmed Lamar's surgery.
Oh yeah, they put on a thumb drive, and
gave it to us on a thumb drive.
They actually, I don't know who would want to watch it. It's not like a home movie.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, she wants to watch it, but just for them to go inside my shoulder, to go and grab all that stuff that they did. I guess someone who likes that kind of thing, operating, if you watch shows and stuff.
Don't even try, Lamar. You've been telling everybody who could listen about how your surgery, what they actually did.
No, but I thought it was cool. That's the reason I was telling them, not so much because I like the gory stuff, but it's cool. The screws that they use to fasten down everything and the cords that they use.
But they gave it to us on a thumb drive.
Right. They gave
the MRI documents.
And so it looked like, I didn't know what it was. It looked like a credit card. I was like, what is this thing? And then I hit the click. Oh, it flipped.
It flips up and
then it goes USB. So you can plug it right into your USB. And here are all your images from your MRI, just in case you need them for future use or go to another doctor.
No more of those big, clunky big holding
film.
The big films and all that kind of stuff. They have it right on a little flip MRI thing that you can put in your wallet.
Seriously, it looks like a credit card. I mean, absolutely just.
When we were in the doctor's office, our doctor has a tablet that he turns around for us, and he can literally show us in 3D imaging what the issue is, to explain what's going wrong. The 3D imaging will peel back the layers of the skin and then show the muscle and then show the ligaments. And then he can rotate it 360 degrees to let you see all it. I was blown away. We're talking top quality
And he's
healthcare.
the surgeon is a part of a group of surgeons that specialize in different. He specializes in shoulders and knees.
Mhm.
Others specializations in hips and
Legs,
ankles,
hips, that
that kind of thing. And so, but it's like he said, it's like 10 or 12 of them.
And his English
Is
is
excellent.
excellent. I mean, he was like, "Oh, my English is not so." I'm like, "Child, please,
Yeah,
your English is fine.
Yes,
Your English is fine."
absolutely. Excellent surgeon. He's kind. He's caring,
Thoughtful,
good,
patient. As a matter of fact, when I had come in for him to check my shoulder, that was during the time that Lamar had just fallen, and so we mentioned to him during my appointment, because Lamar came with me to my appointment. We mentioned to him about Lamar's shoulder, and so he took a look and he said, "Yeah, let me order an MRI for that." And all that kind of
because he
stuff.
did the strength test and he said, "Okay, let's confirm what I think it is."
Right. He said, I think I know what it is, but let me confirm. While we were there, Lamar starts telling him also about some water on his knee.
Yeah, I have an old injury from years ago, and from time to time, my right knee gets fluid on it. And it happened here, and I told him about it. I says, "I'm comfortable." And he says, "Well, you want me to take care of it right now?" Sure. And he goes, "Let me get my stuff." He goes, comes back with his little stainless steel, surgical steel tray with all his tools he needed, got me up on the table.
And drained the fluid right there out of Lamar's knee, right there on the spot.
Uh,
During my appointment,
right.
after we had finished with mine.
I didn't even have an appointment. He went ahead and took care of it. And draining my knee cost every bit of $35.
Here in Mexico.
$35. In the States, it would have been somewhere around $200 to $300 for them to take care of that.
Never have I ever.
So, I mean, when I hear people,
Mhm.
make these claims and they, I'm afraid, it's this and is it because we see it all the time in the chats on Facebook and things like that.
And if you have any questions, put those questions in the chat so we can answer those too while we're here.
I get tired of telling people it's not what you think.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. From safety here to medical treatment here, it's not what you heard about.
Right.
I've experienced it. I've witnessed it. And we always talk about the fact that, you taking, information and from unpassported folks, people that have not
from people who have no passport,
have
you are
not
taking
been out of the
their advice.
You're taking. I mean, you can't. You have to get it from someone who has been there and seen it. And I have seen surgery, my first surgery, first time.
Yeah.
And it went flawlessly. I'm satisfied. Mm-hmm. And I'm, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks thereabouts, I'll start physical therapy, go back to physical therapy. But at the same time, we'll be going back from time to time to see the surgeon.
Now, from previous experience, that's where it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. That's where it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You see this little, I don't know if y'all see these little marks on my shoulder. That's where I had the same thing that he has done to his.
Yeah.
And that's where it hurt. That's where the physical therapy is where it hurts.
I'm just
that has nothing to do with the quality of care. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, because the muscle has atrophied. All the muscles have atrophied because I was using part of my shoulder, but mm-hmm. the one that rolled up that connects from here to here mm-hmm. Is going to require rehabilitation.
Yeah, because I can see how this.
Yeah, re-strengthening.
That's your regular shoulder.
Right.
This shoulder has gotten kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's, it's getting the flexibility back, getting strength back into that shoulder, mm-hmm. And that's what's going to be painful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast. But never will I ever return to the United States for any kind of healthcare. Not to mention it costs an arm, a leg, a booty hole. It costs an extreme amount of money
right.
just for any kind of
and that's
thing.
with insurance.
With insurance.
It's with insurance.
It's ridiculous. It's almost as if the system is designed to keep you sick.
Right.
It is designed to keep you sick.
I mean, you're going to have surgery. I mean, you think about movies, that depict poor health care or situations where someone can't get surgery.
Oh yeah. Or patients who are foregoing full medicine because they can't afford the medicine. I'm going to cut my pill in half in order to
and then
afford
people are dying from going into diabetic comas because they're not taking their full dosage of their medication. I've
had friends and family contact us to find out how much is this medicine that I'm taking here in the States.
Right.
How much can you bring some when you come back to the States, and I'll send you the money for it, but can you bring me some of the medicine so I don't have to pay full overprice here?
Right.
I can go into a lot of pharmacies and get it, buy things straight over the counter without a prescription. It's medicines that cost my cousin and cost my sister and things like that $800 I can get for $35 here.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And for that reason, never will I ever.
It has been I have no complaints. I really don't. I was left kind of like, wow, this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't have any pain here. I haven't had any pain here. I'm doing what the doctor said. I'm keeping it immobile.
Right.
So that
he's got like a little, I don't know if y'all could see, he's got like a little, he's got his arm in a sling, and then he's got this little brace foam kind of thing. Right here, just a smidgen. There you go. Just this brace kind of thing. He had a ball in his hand that he's supposed to be able to hold on to
for stability.
But this keeps the arm, elevated out to the side so that
keep the tension
off the side of the shoulder right there. So.
But when I'm sitting at a desk, he said I can take it off because it's being supported, or if I'm sitting and watching television. But especially when I go out right now, I'm keeping it in the sling to protect my arm so I don't get it caught on something or
his wife doesn't bump into it.
But like I said, Friday I go to have the stitches removed, and then 2 weeks after that I start physical therapy, and I won't too much need the sling.
No,
I may need it after physical therapy, but probably not, because at that point he'll probably have released me from keeping it immobile because they're going to start working the arm. And then, I'll be doing exercises here and, using resistant bands and things like that in between doing the exercises that they assign to, strengthen the muscles and get it back to where I can move it and get the range of motion back. I don't want to be like someone who I know that had knee surgery and didn't do the physical therapy.
He talking about his daddy?
No. He did his. It was a cousin of mine. You're talking about your cousin. And he walked around like, he had a peg leg because he didn't want to do, it was going to be painful.
Right.
But he's walking around, like, a peg leg, pirate.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the physical therapy, not so much the pain, but to get my arm back working again so that, I'm, free and clear to do things and actually.
But it's about restoring your quality of life.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons that we moved to Mexico and that we are in pursuit of life abundantly is just that, to have quality health care so that you can, and food without preservatives, to be able to eat fresh and to be able to enjoy being more active. Here in Querétaro, it's a pretty much mild, temperate climate all year round. So we're able to get out each and every day. Well, not really today, because today is kind of rainy. But
poured down
we're able to get out. We're able to walk. We're able to do a lot of things to keep our health and preserve our health. And that's what the name of the game is about. We want to preserve our health and be as healthy as possible.
Sure.
Where else can you? We were driving and right on the side of the road there where we have them all the time. This is mango season. So we've got people who are literally selling mangoes.
Yeah, mangoes
out of their truck. Because they'll have a whole big truckload of mangoes and they'll sell these bags, 3 kilos of mangoes for 50 pesos. 3 kilos, 50 pesos is 3 kilos is about a little more than 6 pounds. 6 pounds, right. and 50 pesos is like $2.60 or something like that. 6 pounds. For $2.
So I mean,
60
cents. She has to come home and slice that up and put it in the freezer because I mean it's so much. And I'm not a big mango eater, so she enjoys the mangoes, and it's just like any other fruit.
Man, listen, fresh mango smoothies, fresh mango custard, fresh mangoes to eat just for some fruit. Fresh mango sherbet, fresh mango. I made a Thai mango salad that was delicious. You should have got down on that before I tore that up.
Additives and things like that. Give you an example. Cheetos.
Oh, right.
Cheetos here aren't orange.
Fun fact, Cheetos outside of the United States are not orange like they are, glow in the darkish type of orange like they are in the States.
There are certain food colorings and additives that are outlawed in Mexico. You can't
in the rest of the world.
So you can't use these things which have been proven to be carcinogens or cancer causers, and you can't. So it's different. I mean, I think they took liberties with the Doritos.
Right.
Angela doesn't like them because they're a little spicy. I like them.
The
nacho cheese, they have a little bit more kick. The seasoning is a lot more, I think, has better flavor. So it's really good. But from a health standpoint,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Pastries and stuff, I've cut back, but pastries have less sugar.
A lot of things don't have as much sugar in them. So one of the very first things that we noticed when we would go to a bakery here in Mexico is, and you're getting something, that you want a little sweet tooth or whatever, a little pastry, a little pie, a little muffin or something like that. It was not as sweet.
Right.
When we first got here, we were like, oh, this isn't very sweet. Right.
It didn't taste bad, but it was like, it's not as sweet.
It's not as sweet. Right. Fast forward maybe 6 or 7 months later, I have to fly back out of the States. I get a muffin and back in the States, and it's just sugar. Right. My taste buds have already been acclimated to not having as much sugar, to not having some of the preservatives that you can immediately taste it. One of our friends who lives outside of the United States, she gets sick every time she goes back to the States and eats something.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah.
That ought to tell you something.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I will
never, especially for healthcare. If I have another instance, I hope I don't have another instance or
It's Gina. Yay, you called us. Hey girl, what's going on? Yes. Because of COVID, it was the pastries. Yes. Less sugar.
Right.
Less sugar. That's the catch right there. Right then and there.
Right.
I've noticed a difference in our foods in general. Now mind you, eggs are not as expensive. Eggs are not expensive here. Oh, yeah. So we're able to
18. No, it's 18.
My sister bought 18. No, she bought the big set of 30.
Yeah.
The like the large dozen or big grouping because our son is staying at her house in the States. But especially when he was there in between the school semesters or what have you. But she was on the phone with me and we were talking and she was just scanning her scanning her items, talking on the phone while she's scanning her stuff going through the grocery store, and she's $30 for eggs. I was like, $30? Good Lord, $30. Oh my gosh.
We're getting 18 eggs for $2 and
Oh
something.
yeah. Oh,
18 eggs for $2 and something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that still hurts my heart. Avocados, we're able to get fresh avocados. Fresh, I mean, when we say fresh, I mean when we go to the tienda up the street and get carrots, they're getting the carrots with the stalks still on them and dirt still. Like they just grabbed that joker right out, pulled it out of the ground and put it right on the truck.
Sure
And it winds up right at the tienda selling it right there. You know, it's like fresh stuff. So they don't really, you can buy things that say organic, but they don't really have a concept of what organic means, because most of the vegetables and things are fresh out the ground. So I've gotten kind of
all that. Yeah.
I've gotten kind of used to having fresh stuff off the tree, fresh stuff out the ground, fresh, you know, fresh air, fresh sun, fresh, all that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to definitely bring that to you guys because we love you and we're not going to gatekeep the information.
No.
We want to make sure that you know that there are options. You got options.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You got options.
Mhm.
And you know, the other part of this is that our stress level is down.
Oh my gosh.
So that also contributes to things with regard to your health.
Especially now that we're empty nesters.
Yeah. Yep, we're empty nesters. Well, sort of.
Well, okay, we're not including the puppies in that.
Yeah, there's 3 fur babies here. So,
but we've had the last one has officially graduated. If you had not heard by now, the last one has officially graduated and has gone to start a nursing program in the States. And we pray, with all the wackiness and craziness going on in the United States right now, that will hold. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. We wanted to make sure we share that because somewhere, somebody is holding on to staying in a broken healthcare system for fear that there may not be something else out there. And we want to make sure we dispel that myth as much as possible. You can get quality healthcare elsewhere from the United States.
The thing that's happening right now in the States, I feel really bad for people who are going to lose Medicaid.
You talk about the big ugly the big ugly bill that the Orange Cheeto is trying to push through. Yes. And that in and of itself, y'all, if you have not called your congressman, if you have not called your senator or local representative to complain and make your voices heard, please do so. Please do so.
There's going to be a lot of people hurting, people dying, because this is going to kill people.
For sure.
There's going to be people dying.
For sure. People will die.
Already people, like we talked about earlier, rationing their medication, not getting certain procedures medically, and they're going to end up dying.
For sure. People will die. And so we wanted to make sure we put this video out to make sure you guys know that you got options and to exercise your option so that you can have and live your most abundant life.
If you need help, contact us.
That's right. That's right. Hit us up. Come hit us up. Join us again the first of the month. Now that we're empty nesters, we're trying to put our video. We got so many videos that we have filmed that we're going to be able to push out now that we have some time.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, it's been great.
Yeah, we like to hold you for we don't like to hold you for a long time, but we like to keep you for a good time.
Yes. So we thank you for coming to visit with us.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you at the first of the month next month in August.
First of the month.
And by that time, I'll be in the throes of physical therapy. So, I won't have the sling.
Yes.
So, and hopefully my push is there's a race in August. I want to get back to being able to get that. So I'm going to be working real hard to get this arm strong so
Handle your
that
business.
so I can get that done. So listen, guys, good seeing you. Take care. Be well.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need us, call us.
That's right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
See you.